Today is a very special day, folks, because not only do I get to finally get off my fat butt and actually go outside and touch grass for once, but also because it is the opening day of two of the most anticipated movies of 2023 so far, not counting Spider-Verse. Barbie and Oppenheimer. And I'm traveling all the way to LA just like I did with Triple R to go see both. But first, a little detour. Ah yes, what an absolutely beautiful day it is out here today. I promise that's not going to be what the rest of the video is going to be like. So let's start off with my thoughts on these films first and foremost. I think both of them are going to suck ass. No, I'm kidding, don't leave, please. Nah, but for real, I think both of them are going to be absolutely amazing. Oppenheimer specifically has been a movie that I've been especially excited for because not only does it look grim and thrilling whilst having this great cast of stars in it, but also because this will be my first time seeing a Christopher Nolan movie in IMAX, specifically IMAX 70mm. And I am really excited about that. It's been a long ass time since I've seen a film in that format, let alone film to begin with. If you're unaware of what that is, it was essentially the standard when it came to every single IMAX movie up until the later 2000s when everything started to go digital. I'll explain more when I'm at the theater itself, but essentially it is the gold standard of the cinematic experience. The movie itself also just looks really good, and not just because of the reasons that I've already listed, but also because it looks like it's going to be one of those movies where it looks bigger than we could have ever imagined it being. The scariest part I find about this movie is that, well, it's a movie about the atomic bomb. And honestly, while that alone is terrifying enough, imagine what else is in the movie itself that's somehow even more scarier than what we have already seen. And no, I'm not talking about that one scene, guys. Come on, get your mind out of the gutter already. I consider myself a Nolan fan, even though I've really only seen like 3 of his movies, which include like Interstellar, The Dark Knight, and Tenet. And while Tenet for me was a bit iffy, I guess, mostly because I just couldn't understand what the hell was going on or what they were even saying to begin with. Oppenheimer seems different for me because it looks like it's going to be the type of movie that knows exactly what it's doing. And with it being Nolan's first R-rated movie in years, I'm hoping it is going to be one hell of a movie. As for Barbie, whilst obviously not being as dark and gritty as Oppenheimer, is a movie that I'm still absolutely excited for, mainly because it looks funny as hell. Every trailer I've seen from this movie hasn't failed in the slightest to get me a chuckle or a smile. And it'll definitely be one of those movies that will be stuck in people's heads well after it's over. I mean, Ryan Gosling having his own musical number in this is something that I absolutely would have not expected whatsoever. But it's just so good. Barbie looks amazing, dude. I don't even know how else to say it. I mean, especially the cast. It's got to be the most chaotic thing I've ever seen for a movie. Like, you got Margot Robbie, you got Ryan Gosling, you got Michael Cera, freaking John Cena's in it now. This has got to be the wildest cast I've ever seen for a movie, and I absolutely love it. If you had to ask me which of these films I'm most excited for, however, I wouldn't really know because I'm just as equally excited for both of these. But I guess Oppenheimer will be more significant to me because it will be my first feature-length film, an IMAX film, so I guess. Anyways, enough with the shenanigans. Let's start heading to the theater. We did it, guys. We're finally here. Universal Cinema at Citywalk Hollywood. The reason I chose this theater specifically is because this is one of the few IMAXs left in the entire world that can still play any IMAX movie in its original tall 1.43:1 aspect ratio in either digital or film. And even more importantly, this is where Nolan himself goes out to test every single one of his IMAX movies. Well, maybe not every single one of them, but most of them. Like, I know this one person made a TikTok where he spent a day with Nolan and previewing Oppenheimer. The footage that you saw from that TikTok came directly from this theater right here. So I'm really hoping that nothing goes wrong during my showing. So earlier I was talking about how IMAX 70mm was supposedly the gold standard when it came to every IMAX movie. What does that mean? Well, like I mentioned, it was a standard when it came to every IMAX movie before the age of digital, specifically documentaries, before Nolan started the trend of shooting Hollywood movies with IMAX cameras. And what makes this format so special specifically is that unlike conventional 35mm or 70mm, IMAX film is projected on its side. And one piece of IMAX film negative is so large that trying to put them all together throughout one big film reel means that it is so heavy and so big that you need these big ass platters just to support their weight. In fact, for Oppenheimer specifically, I think the runtime was so long that they actually had to extend their platters to make sure it actually fits. So why bother going to great lengths just to do something like this when digital has already made things so much easier to begin with? One reason? Picture quality. The clarity and contrast of IMAX 70mm film is so high that even modern cameras nowadays don't even reach the level of quality it has. We're talking about 12 to 18K resolution. That's 3 times or even quadruple times the amount of resolution that's found with IMAX with laser, or about 6 to 9 times the amount of resolution found on the older Xenon digital systems. It is by far the best film format in the entire world. And unless something seriously happens in the next couple of years, I highly doubt that'll change. Oppenheimer specifically will play in this format in only 30 locations around the world, and this is one of them. Also, I decided to go against the idea of buying a Barbenheimer shirt because a lot of them are poorly made and I wouldn't be able to get them on time anyway, so fortunately, I wish I could have got one, but it just wasn't possible, unfortunately. Though I will be on the lookout for anyone who happens to have a Barbenheimer shirt. This is so fucking crazy, dude. You know what else is crazy? Not liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you're enjoying this so far, because it would really help me out as a small content creator. I mean, it's up to you at the end of the day. I'm just doing a Barbenheimer vlog out here. Alright, let's roll. So I just scanned my ticket and look at what they gave me. Look how fucking big this thing is, bro. Like, I knew IMAX film was big, but I didn't know it was this big. So obviously I'm not gonna record the movie or anything because that would be illegal. What I will record, however, is like if there's a special appearance made by Christopher Nolan or something, or like Greta Gerwig or something before or after my showings of Oppenheimer or Barbie. But I can't guarantee anything will happen, so this will either be the best video of all time or the most anticlimactic thing ever. Either way, once Oppenheimer ends, I'm gonna give my first impressions on that movie before going to Barbie, and then I'll give my first impressions on Barbie after that, and then my day will be done. Whoa. Holy shit. Every time I come here, I always keep forgetting that this screen is absolutely massive. My camera can't even capture the absolute magnitude of this screen right now. It is so ginormous. I should probably also mention that this isn't my first time going to this IMAX specifically. I think I've been here for a total of like 5 times, and 3 of those 5 times were like movies shown in 1.43, which include Dune, Lightyear, and Nope. The only difference now is that those movies were only shown in digital. What I'm about to see right now is presented entirely in 70mm IMAX. And I'm about to see it the way Nolan intended right now, dude. This is crazy. Oh man, I just realized. RIP to everyone sitting in the front row. This is theater. Oh my god, their necks are gonna hurt so bad. For reference, this is how the very front of the row looks like. Yeah. It's not going to be a good experience from here at all. Anyways, that's enough for me. I'm going to be recording anything that happens. So, yeah. I'll see you guys after the movie.
Magic, that indescribable feeling
I didn't think that was gonna happen.
3 hours later.
Oh my god, dude. I have no words. As you guys already see, I finished Oppenheimer and holy shit, that was incredible, dude. Oh my god. I literally am speechless right now. No movie has ever made me this speechless quite like Oppenheimer, dude. So if I had any more thoughts on Oppenheimer, I would say it's just absolutely incredible, dude. If there's any problems that I had with this specifically, I guess the sound mix is still kind of not really that good. I mean, it's not like Tenet levels of sound mixing where it's just completely inaudible, but there's definitely scenes of dialogue here that definitely could have been mixed better, but hey, apparently it's the Nolan way to do that. And honestly, as someone who isn't really a fan of these type of talky kind of films, I think this one struck out to me the most because it's one where it takes itself seriously. It really goes in depth with what it's talking with the subject and everything, and so it's just so incredibly well made, and words cannot speak for itself how amazing the final product actually ended up being. So while it is considered a masterpiece on my front, I wouldn't say it's the greatest either because it does have some flaws, but honestly, I'm just really happy with how the movie came out. The scariest part of the movie was definitely the bomb going off, dude. Like, oh my god. Shit was so scary. It had my heart racing and everything, but honestly, I just can't really say anything else because it's just that one movie that you just have to see in order to get the hype. I'll definitely make a full review if I want to, but for now, I just think it was awesome, dude. I don't know how else to say it. Alright, let's go see Barbie now. Let's go. Now, unlike Oppenheimer, where I got my tickets a month in advance, I did not really plan my double feature to be here, so I end up having to sit near the very left edge of the theater. Okay, but like, no lie though, this is a pretty nice view. I think I'm gonna like it. Well, this scene and the movie itself, obviously. It's so funny. I literally have not seen this much pink in an auditorium before. This is crazy. That Barbenheimer double. Woo!
For magic. Sound that I can feel. Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Our heroes feel like the best part because here they are.
Woo, Barbie! That was great. I'm not sure what I expected, but I definitely did not expect that out of Barbie. Like, oh my god, dude. This movie is actually so freaking good. So as you could probably tell, I just got out of Barbie, and again, it is such a great and funny movie. Like, everyone in this movie just does I can't even speak right now. It is such a fantastic and amazing movie that does so well with its cast and its story, and it overall makes for such a good time, but also kind of sad at sometimes. Despite what the movie tries to say with its fourth wall breaking, I think Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie did an absolutely phenomenal job as their roles. This whole movie's story just felt so chaotic that it shouldn't even work, and yet somehow it does, and it does it in a way that's not really too cheesy or not too cringy. Not that I think this movie is cringy at all. No, it's not. Everything is literally on point about it. I really don't have any complaints about Barbie, but the only reason I'm giving this a 9 out of 10 instead of like a 10 out of 10 for like Oppenheimer is because it's not necessarily a masterpiece, and it's not trying to do something spectacular or anything, but it's just a really good movie, man. And the writing especially has got to be some of the best I've ever seen for a movie like this. I haven't really watched any other Greta Gerwig movie before, but if every movie is this detailed and really in-depth with its story, then I kind of just want to binge every one of their films. So while Barbie isn't exactly a speechless masterpiece that Oppenheimer managed to do, I still found Barbie to be a really good time, and overall I'm just really satisfied with my double feature tonight. I'm disappointed that, you know, Nolan didn't show up or anything crazy happened apart from those like reactions that I've got. It's one thing with Oppenheimer Oppenheimer, where you're going into a story about something grim and dark, and you then transition all the way to like a lighthearted but also pretty emotional movie about Barbie, dude. Like, oh my god. But otherwise, if this video convinced me to do anything, is that it's to tell you guys to go see Oppenheimer and Barbie. And just do it in the same day if you can, because they are really good films, man. Just do it.